Suicide Squad issue 9, Tom Taylor writing with Bruno Redondo on the art. So yeah, obviously this was the one we were kind of building up to because we knew they'd been kind of advertising this as the death of Deadshot, and been doing this for a while. Basically, the story of the issue is the team getting to the island and then getting to the building and getting to Ted Cord, and kind of this big showdown that happens that plays out a little bit differently than we'd expect. Although you're as a reader, you're sitting there kind of doubting that you're like, something feels off about this, something doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah, you know straight away it's not all as it seems.
I'm waiting constantly for the trapdoor for Taylor because I know how he likes to mess with us. Absolutely. And then I got thinking, because when me and Pete watch wrestling, sometimes the swerve is there is no swerve, and they're just gonna play it straight. So I'm like, wait, is Tom Taylor messing with us here now? I'm waiting for this to happen, and it makes it through the whole issue, and the son of a bitch does it.
Yeah, you got Chaos getting thylacine, getting intel. Yeah, they kidnap like a Congress dude or whoever he is, and then Finn questions him underwater, which is just a delightful sequence.
Which is pretty great.
Yeah,
I love that panel of him. I left him with some friends, and it's like he's being held in by an octopus, and there's like sharks coming in and stuff. It's great.
He's got an oxygen tank though. He's not drowning. Just for the record.
No, but he's kind of left to the devices of the animals, so
Yeah, I'm not sure if the implication here was we're just going to let the sharks eat him, or if it was more of he'd use some mental telepathy on the sharks to be like, just scare him, and then we're going to come back for him later. I'm not sure which way it actually was supposed to be read.
Yeah, maybe it's something we'll get the morality of these characters more as we get to know them, and we'll have a better idea of that.
Or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof, yeah. Harley and Deadshot have kind of a touching almost goodbye, where it's like, hey, we spent a lot of time in Suicide Squad together. Harley tries to be nice, and they get interrupted because Live Shot is using a gun and shooting some birds. And Deadshot makes it very clear that he doesn't actually want her messing with guns, and he wants her to be better than him, and that he doesn't feel very good about the life that he's had. And she makes him pinky promise not to kill anyone, which is a very sweet scene, and it's very...
Which might be foreshadowing for later.
Very foreshadowing. To the point where when he's confronted about the fact that he promised not to kill anyone, and they're essentially going on an assassination mission for Ted Cord, he says, well, someone else can pull the trigger, and as for anyone else, I can still shoot people, I just can't kill them. Which is very Terminator 2, it's he'll live kind of thing.
Yeah, I like that you'll need a new name. What was it that they suggested?
Meme Shot.
Meme Shot, yeah.
So we get a page of them infiltrating, so it's just a little montage page of each one of them using their powers one by one, in these little boxes. Ted Cord.
Great flow to it, though.
Ted Cord seems to be freaking out, although given the twist that comes with the Superman section, I'm going to hasten to assume that Ted Cord that we've been seeing throughout this run is not actually being Ted Cord.
Which kind of makes me a little angry. But at the same time, as a Ted Cord fan, I'm also okay with it, because I don't want guys I like to be dirtbags. But it kind of lessens that reveal in that issue where, I mean,
we always expected it to be a way around it. There was always going to be something that revealed that Ted Cord wasn't actually an evil prick now.
Knowing that Tom Taylor used to work in a carnival as a sword thrower and juggler and kind of as a sideshow guy, he is carny as hell, and I don't believe anything he says anymore.
Yeah, I love how different some of the backgrounds people who come to comics are. So you have your Snyders who, you professors, teachers, whatnot.
Academics. Yeah.
You've got Soul, who's straight up a lawyer, still is, and then you have Tom Taylor.
Is Soul a lawyer, or is he a shepherd of Star Wars? Because I feel like
I feel like those things are not mutually exclusive.
I don't know, man. I don't know where he has.
I can't believe you did that little list that mentioned the fact that Tom King was in the CIA. I mean,
and then but on the other end as well, you have Gail Simone, who was a hairdresser,
right?
So it's literally a complete such a spectrum of previous careers.
With Gail now, we know she's a liar, so we can't trust anything she says.
The point is that anyone can write. If someone can write, they can write. It doesn't really matter what else they've done before.
Or you got to be friends with the guy that was the EIC and you're just given a character for years at a time. You know, doesn't mean you can, right? Yeah. Anyways, Tom Taylor's carny as hell, and I don't trust a word he says anymore because there was much to do with his, and this is us, or at least me, reading way too much from his Twitter about, hey, sometimes the guys you think are good aren't good, right? And human beings are more complex than that. So I don't know, but that's a good spot to have, is if you don't know whether to believe in them or not.
Well, let me explain what this scene is, because they get up to the top of the tower, and Ted Card's in, a rope, and he's gagged, he's tied up. Superman's just standing there, and they're like, wait, what? What's happening? And Osita's not happy because she wants, his blood. They start to ask about where the girl from the prison was. We learned about in the flashbacks, and all this stuff. And everyone leaves. Everyone's like, oh, well, I guess it's done now because Superman's dealing with it and we can, we move on. But Deadshot sticks around. He's like, hey, can I ask for something? And he tells him about the fact that he's been pardoned and all that. And he's like, hey, can I ask for something for my daughter? Maybe set her on the right path. And Superman's playing along. And you're kind of waiting for it. And he has a hat. And I thought it was going to be that he knows what Superman's signature looks like, because he gets him to sign like a magazine. And it turns out it's like, I never told you my daughter's name, and he said Zoe on it. But the death here is that whoever this is, which we're going to get to in a second, shoots him through the magazine. So we see the hole in the magazine, and then the magazine goes down, and we see where it hit, which is right sort of in the upper chest kind of area. And then it reveals that the sort of the hologram imaging that's creating the image of Superman dissipates, and we see who this actually is. The villain of this book is Black Mask, and potentially always has been Black Mask, is I think the obvious implication.
Which I think is entertaining as shit, considering I read that the villain, you're the villains tie-in of Black Mask because it was Tom Taylor.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Black Mask in that issue was using a disguise at multiple points.
Yep.
I do actually like this extension for Black Mask. These holographic disguises are ultimately just masks, right?
Yeah. But Kevin, going all the way back to that annual, which felt very standalone and as if it didn't really matter that much, it's kind of weird that he's playing like 4D chess with how he's setting this up and other like one-shots that he's done ages ago.
And and so this whole issue, I'm like, because he said, no, we're killing Deadshot, he's dead. And I get through this issue, and you're like, okay, well, maybe Deadshot dies, but Floyd is able to go on. And then you get to the end, and it's a little bit too happy.
It's a bullet in the head, and he falls out a window from a very high floor.
Without a doubt, he does kill him, but it's on the very last page.
It's not in the head. What are you talking about?
No, he takes the bullet. Yeah.
Oh, the second shot is.
Look at he's falling out the window on the final page. There's blood coming out of his forehead.
Oh, I was disputing the first shot. The first shot's clearly in his chest.
Oh no, the first one is. But and sure, I could buy. Okay, maybe he'll survive that. It's comics. But the second one, no, it's a shot in the head and then he's out the window. That's pretty damning as far as it seems right now.
Yeah. So I like the idea that this Ted Cord who's tied up is Ted Cord, but the idea being that he's always tied up. They literally just have him in a cupboard tied up while Black Mask is pretending to be Ted Cord. It's kind of funny to me. So
what do you think the point is that Deadshot kind of figured it out? Because obviously it's before the signature. He's kind of leading Superman into that.
Oh yeah, he's obviously trying to solve it and get him to show his hand.
Yeah, there's a point where he says thanks, and then there's the ... Superman, and so he's obviously got the inkling by that point. The question is, do you think it's before he stays behind and wants to hey, you all go off, I just want to has he already thought about it? I just want to check something, or is it after that and he regrets letting everyone else having gone?
So no, I think he knew something was up by the time, just because Superman just being there, right? And all their other stuff. Because when he hands it over, he goes, hey, thanks. He goes, yeah, that's what I thought. So it's got to be that his plan. As soon as he sent everyone else away, he knew it wasn't exactly Superman.
You could argue it's when he does say thanks, Superman. Just before that, because Superman says, you're clearly a good soldier for a great country. It could be that sentiment that Superman's just kind of hand waving everything he's ever done.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so out of character that's the moment where he really truly sort of goes, thanks, Superman.
Well, because that was my first flag going like, okay, this is definitely not Superman, because
I was thinking it the whole time just because it felt easy. I'm like, but it looks a lot like Superman. And
I know,
just say Redondo does a great Superman. Such a clean, gorgeous Superman.
Well, and then on the other part of that too, to me, is I know how Taylor thinks about Superman, right? After writing Evil Superman and all of that, is he's not that Dark Knight Returns pro-America type Superman. So him saying, "Oh, you're a good soldier for your country," that's a tell, you know. And I feel Taylor. That's why because that's where I started to feel off in it. Like, I mean, and it helps too that it's him and Deadshot, and you're like, well, where's the other shooter drop here? You know, because there's more going here. So, but yeah, I don't. Man, Tom Taylor got me because I was like, oh no, they're not killing Deadshot. He's full of it. Oh no, wait. He got shot in the head and pushed out a window.
Like, this is ultimately still comics, and if they really want to find a way to tell us he's not dead, they can.
Right.
But this is as definitive as a dead body gets in comics. So, you know, I'm kind of glad they followed through on it. As actually hit quite hard, given the last few issues with Deadshot and the stuff with his daughter has been really, really solid.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't want a character to die that I like. Never do. But I appreciate them just straight up following through on the threat.
Well, and the fact that they gave it away, right? This isn't like a surprise death. They told us it was coming.
Yeah, because the surprise deaths feel more likely to just be like, well, it'll be back to normal next issue somehow or another, because they can't help themselves. They can't help but hype it up. Be like, hey, you'll want to buy copies of this one when it's actually going to happen.
I don't know why, but for whatever reason, it never even occurred to me that they might be lying. I just expected it to be accurate the whole time.
Because it's comics, and when you come out in front like that, there's a trick.
I don't know. Right? There was so much pride in his tweets when he said, "No, we're really doing this," that I just believed him, and I never but I went into this issue saying,
like Matt says, though, he comes from that background where he loves swerving. It's why he has such all the showmanship of it.
Right.
Oh, sure,
but put it past him to lie on Twitter for the sake of the story.
But I came into this issue of the mindset of how's it going to happen, not is it going to happen. So
so did I, and then the longer it went on, I started going, that son of a bitch, he got me. Oh wait, no, he didn't.
I know, it was always going to be the end. It's
always in the back of my head that maybe they won't. You know, I take it at face value, but I didn't 100% commit to, they're definitely going to do it. There was probably 20-30% in the back of my head going, yeah, but how are they going to get away from it? You know, given everything they've said, how are they going to not do it?
They're rewriting reality in like 2 months' time. They can just
but I do feel like if he's doing stuff going forward, it's going to be based off of this, and his Black Mass is going to be, in my head, but he's amassing, fortunes, and he's not on the black market anymore, right? He's not on the criminal underworld. He makes the jump to an actual businessman, right? Using less than legal means.
Presumably someone's going to catch him, otherwise Ted's going to be dead too. Because he's been pulled out the window with him.
Deadshot did alert the rest of the team that were down on the ground. I'm sure Ares flying around.
Yeah, I would assume so. I would assume that's what's going to happen at the start of next issue. Art's bright and vivid and clean and all those things that have been true with Redondo on the issues. That was a really good issue. Joe, what's so weird about this though is that I actually think it's probably not even in the top 5 of the issues of this. And we're only on issue 9, which just tells you how good this book's been. That I think this is just an okay issue of this. But it's not just okay; it's a great issue. But in the context of these 9 issues, it's in the average side.
Yeah, you feel like this is the exact story Taylor wants to do.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say this is a mid-tier issue of this book. Yeah. I can still give this a very high score and not feel like, I'm cheating that sense either. Because I mean, how many issues have I given 9s, 10s, 9.5s to this book out of the previous 8? Probably more than half. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give this an 8.5.
Connor?
Also the 8.5.
8.5 is what I'm giving it. So there you go.
I just checked. I've only given one other issue an 8.5. Everything else has been above that. So yeah, it's on the lower end of this run essentially for me, but still an 8.5.